Oh, yes, indeed. We are absolutely alive and kicking. Welcome to Henry and Friends Live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be around the globe. I am Henry Weinreich and I'm your host. Welcome to our lifestyle magazine right around the globe. Now, I have to tell you, we've already been having a party. We have the gorgeous Deni Hines in our green room. He got up at 4 a.m. Bangkok time to be on our show, and it is now exactly 5:30 a.m. Sunday morning in Bangkok, and makes it 8:30 a.m. in Melbourne, where our producer Amit Rahak is waiting in the green room as well. In New York City, it's actually Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. London, 11:30 p.m. And we are truly excited. I want to start off the show by saying that this is an invigorating lifestyle vodcast. Last week, did we have an amazing show? If you did not catch it, with Deni Hines Part 1 live from Bangkok, I highly advise you hop on to Henry and Friends Live YouTube channel, because just to give you a précis of what we were talking about last weekend, it was all about the individual spirit and not being cowed by corporate power. It was all about the individual passion and creativity and going for it. And also, however, with every bit of that creativity, it's not just good luck, which there's a pinch of that, but it's also really hard work. But when I asked Deni, is it hard work? She said to me, when it's a passion, it is not. I think the things that we really come to understand about Henry and Friends Live is it's about invigoration. It's about refreshing. We all know what the news is like there. Nobody's come to this show for the news. What they've come here for and how we've built our platform is on positive energy and vibes. A big thank you to our producer, Mr. Amit Rahak, who is actually in Melbourne. All of a sudden, there was this sign coming up from Facebook saying it's his birthday. And he said, listen, I can't stay for the show because in about 50 seconds, my whole family is going to come on with pajamas and they're going to wreak havoc. So we have Deni Hines in the green room. We have in Bangkok live. We have Mr. Amit Rahak in Melbourne, and you have me, Henry Samuel Weinreich, in Sydney. And guess what? It's time now to count it down. This is our questions and answers session with Deni Hines live from Bangkok, and we are about to do the countdown.
I long for the song in the air, giving me freedom, taking my care.
And welcome back. There's always good to have a little bit of a pause there. Amit saying he has to go because his family is doing a huge celebration, so it's Deni and I. I have to tell you, it's so interesting with our show because every time we have guests, the interaction we have, and all the things that come to us, the thing that I always remind myself as I'm preparing for the show is we really think we know people. But it's really interesting and fascinating to put ourselves in their shoes. And in this case, these are stilettos, because this woman, Deni Hines, is incredibly creative. She's a solo artist. She's a performer. She's an entertainer. And I'm just going to do a little précis before we start the show. Let's just do a little bit of a trailer. Henry and Friends Live right around the globe. Please get your questions ready because Deni's in Bangkok and she can solve the problems of the world.
Would you dance in there, oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine, let it in, oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine, let it in. They said that you loved me all alone.
I'm in Bangkok. How are you, Deni?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm awake.
You are awake. What time did you get up this morning?
I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, but this week I was prepared for it. So I got up, put on the radio, I listened to a bit of KJLH out of LA, got my groove on, checked the news, had a shower, did a moisturize, washed my face, did makeup. Then I was like, oh, it's only 4:30. Sure. Got on TikTok, said hello to everybody, and they said, got to talk to Henry in 10 minutes. And that was it.
Well, we've got people online here. We've got London. We've got Rubina Latif that's saying good morning. It's 11:35.
Good morning.
That's Saturday night. We have Kim who's saying good morning, Henry and
Kimmy.
Deni. And we have Bellina in Sydney, and they're going to be coming on with some questions very shortly. Can I ask you, may I be the first one that can maybe ask you a question, and that is inspiration. I have really been digging into your archives. I've been watching your current work with YouTube. What's your inspiration? How do you start your inspiration? How does it work? How do you get creative?
What? Songwriting or what?
Songwriting.
How do I get creative? Well, it's funny because I'm in the middle of writing something at the moment. And so basically people send me music beds, right? Not people, but my friends, my musical friends send me music beds. And it's just music. Certain times, well, most times I just hear melodies. It's really weird. I just hear a bed of music and then I hear melodies. And then when I hear these melodies, sometimes it happens really quickly. It's like, oh, I gotta get paper. And like the other day I started to write something, and it was after my first day of my shots. I was a bit, cloudy in the mind. But still I had this vibe of this piece of music that was sent to me by my friend here in Bangkok. It's on piano, and it's got really nice chords. Like I don't read music, but the chords talk to me. And all of a sudden I hear melodies, and then when I hear melodies, then I have to fit my lyrics to the melodies, and that's how I write my songs. But it all happens really quickly. I call it the lyric God, just flow through me. I think it's a very creative, spiritual process. But I don't understand how it quite happens. It just happens. I don't question it, I just do it.
It's incredible because the creativity is. Do me a favor. I just want to check. Are all your browsers off, by the way, darling? Are all your browsers? You've just got it on StreamYard? Just check for me because you do. I will wait.
Exit full screen.
Have you exited everything? Yes, that's better. That's better. Excellent. Okay, so what you were saying is
full screen, but I don't like it like that.
So can I ask you, so you were saying that, so what comes first, the music or the lyrics? Do you hear the music first?
No, I hear the melody of where the lyrics, okay, so the melody is what the lyrics are going to sit on. So you've got the music, and then the melody is like, da 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 da. So that's Ain't No Sunshine, right? So you've got this melody, da 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 da. But this would have gone, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. So that's the melody that you hear. And then you put a lyric to your melody. That's so how I write. Some people write cold. I cannot write cold. Like I just can't sit down and write lyrics because I need a melody. I need music to write to. I'm the person that I need to get. Like it's like a pizza. I need the base before I can put the topping on.
It's so interesting. Do you know what? And I'll tell you something interesting because ABBA actually wrote that way. So they had to have the melody first, and then they had to have the lyrics.
That's how I write. That's how I write.
What are some of your musical? What are some of your musical inspirations? Who inspires you musically? Because you inspire the world musically, but who are some of your influences?
There's this one girl that I always talk about on my TikTok. This one little Australian vocalist who's based in LA at the moment, who is a serious powerhouse.
Who's that?
Her name is Vanessa Amorosi. Vanessa Amorosi.
Vanessa Amorosi. I'm writing it down.
Vanessa Amorosi is a powerhouse. She's from Melbourne. She now lives in LA. She's dropped volume 1, volume 2. She hits high notes and makes it look like she's just yawning like this.
Really?
This bitch is crazy. I love her. So I message her all the time. on Instagram, like, Vanessa, I'm a huge fan and I love your stuff. And then she says to me, no, Deni, I'm like, fuck off, Vanessa, fuck off, whatever. You nah, it's all about you. Like, I was listening to one of her tracks the other night, right? And I was in the studio, I just wrapped up here and I was just like winding down, listening to some stuff of hers. And there's this track that she's got on her on volume 2. It's almost like it's a song written to a child about if I die, I will always I will always be around you. I think it's I'll always be here. I was bent over, Henry, picking something off the floor. She did this vocal thing and I started to sway.
Really? And
then she stopped. And I said to myself, what the fuck was that, Vanessa? What the? And then I had to message her on Instagram and go, Vanessa, I was just listening to your track. I think it's called I'll Still Be Here. I'll Be There. What the fuck was that, man? What the fuck was that? Fire! Fire! I couldn't get off the ground. I couldn't concentrate. That was just silly. So yeah, Vanessa Amorossi. Another girl called Yebba, or Yebba. She's crazy. And another lady.
Guys, write this down because this comes from the woman herself. Yebba.
Yebba.
Where's Vanessa based? Where's Vanessa based?
Vanessa's based in LA now.
And where's Yebba based?
She's based in LA now. She was in Australia a few weeks ago. Yebba's based in LA as well, I think. And then there's Jasmine Sullivan. These are all people that are in America. These are Jasmine Sullivan Jasmine Sullivan is.
So guess what? We've got our first statement from Ballina G in Sydney, Australia, who's actually just come back from being in the regional Australia, which is a very interesting concept. But here we go. Deni inspired me last week, saying that she got her first label from overseas rather than from Australia. I'm finding it hard to break into the music scene. I did a lot of opera and fusion. You talked about high notes with Vanessa. I also get positive audiences, but can't seem to get traction. What, in your advice, is to break through? Beautiful question.
Break through in Australia. What kind of music do you do, Ballina?
So Ballina's going to come up and tell us what kind of it's opera. It's opera music.
Opera. Baby, I'm really not part of the opera scene, but I would be contacting Opera Australia. I mean, that's the first thing I would do.
And if Opera Australia,
that's not my.
But your advice,
then I'd be looking to get. I'd be looking to get the fuck out.
Well,
when COVID's over.
Yeah, but the thing is,
that's what I'm doing because that's it. Because you know what, you don't want to stifle your career, and I'm sorry, but there is only so much you can do in that country. I'm sorry, but that's truth. I'm telling the truth. So, but if you can, I would, as soon as you can, I would get out and further my career in a different country where they might consider what you're doing is a decent thing. I mean, I don't understand the opera world. I'm not an opera singer, so I don't know what that world is like per se. But yeah, I would just travel and find, because I couldn't get a deal in Australia. I got signed in Japan. So,
Well, but that's the thing, though. What happens is you did get traction in Australia, and then you saw you saw to yourself that you thought, okay, now it's my time to get traction in a bigger market. So what you're saying to Ballina literally is, if you're not getting traction where you are, go and seek traction with people where you
the world is a very big place, and there are many places in this world that you can sell music to, not just the one that you live in.
So the thing is, it's look at your face. Don't get knocked down. It's like keep going. Like when I start with my publishing world, let me share with you all. We did an initial pitch to over 50 publishers. 5 now want to read the whole transcript, and they're all overseas in London, not saying anything with Australia, but they're all overseas. I want to cut in. You are on Henry and Friends Live. I'll just put Deni in the green room for the moment while she can luxuriate in being early morning. It is now exactly 1:45. It is exactly 5:45 in the morning in Bangkok. It is almost 8:45 a.m. Sunday. Deni's yawning in Sydney, Australia, which means it's 6:45 on the east coast of the United States of America, and where Rubina lives in London. It is exactly 1:45 to midnight. She's straddling. She's almost Saturday and Sunday. I know you've got all questions for Deni, and I'm going to put it back on, but we had a bit of a jive this morning, and I'm going to put on one of your TikToks to give people a bit of a juice on your creativity.
Can I just tell you that the sun is coming up? The sun's coming up. The sun is coming up.
And guess what? It's blue skies out there, which is absolutely amazing. My parents, I'm ensconced in Vaucluse. It could be much worse. In a leafy suburb of Sydney, Australia, with my parents, Annetta Weinreich and Joseph Weinreich, Reggie, who you know very well. And I couldn't believe it, but my mother and father were like looking over my shoulder this week going, we like this and we like that, and you should put this on and you should put that. This is a hit pick that my mother picked from TikTok because she watches TikTok. She stalks me on TikTok. I'm a Jewish boy. I cannot get out of it. But this is my mother's hit pick, everybody, Annetta Weinreich. And this is one of her favorites of Deni Hines on
Bless
TikTok.
Your mama. Bless your mama.
There's my mother. She's a fan. Here we go.
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Oh. I know I may be young. But I've got feelings too. Now watch me.
Oh boy! A bit of an applause, ladies and gentlemen. You're so incredibly talented. You really are. It's interesting.
I'm a triple threat. I'm a triple threat, Henry.
You are a triple thread. You are a triple thread. You're actually a quadruple thread. Soloist, songwriter, performer, and entertainer. It was difficult because when I was speaking to your manager, I'm like, there's about your husband. How many titles? And you go, okay, we'll go with 4. There could be 10, but we'll go with 4 titles. So it was really, really interesting.
As long as you never call me, this is one title that I never want.
Tell me.
A celebrity.
I never did. I know that's not you. Why don't you want to be called a celebrity? Why?
I hate that. Because I'm a musician. I have a talent. I don't just stand there and look good and go to openings of shit and fucking date people. I have a talent. I'm a musician. I'm not a celebrity.
The word celebrity just couldn't even be formed in my mouth. I never call
it.
I hate it too. Do you know what, mate?
I don't know a celebrity.
I don't know about everybody else, but and please chime in if you're like Deni and I. But here are my top hit pick words that I can't cope with. Okay, and we're going to bring more people on. It is celebrity, guru, blessed, and I don't know
blessed.
Blessed. I can't do blessed. I'm so blessed. I can't do blessed. Can you do blessed? I can't do blessed. So we are thrilled and grateful that these people are saying hello. Noel is giving us an applause. Hands up. Valena G. I'm getting all excited. This is great about celebrities. So true.
Celebrities.
London. Now, next week, by the way, and you've got to come back to that, we have got Rubina Latif, direct from London, 01 for London, coming back with her beauty tips and misses. She has just been relegated to train people in beauty facials. She's got her own facial in Harrods. So if you go to Harrods, you've got a Rubina Latif at Harrods, sweetie. Knightsbridge, sweetie. She's not a celebrity, sweetie. And
I know Knightsbridge, darling. I used to go to Joseph's in Knightsbridge, darling, and Mac, darling. I know it very well, darling.
Isn't it SW1, if I remember correctly?
SW1, it is.
And then also she works out of Harvey Nichols, and she's
my girlfriend worked at Harvey Nichols. Every time I walked around Harvey Nichols, security would fucking follow me.
Yeah, but who's your friend? Oh, well, we'll do it off air because we have to do that.
Okay.
So we're really happy to welcome all these people. And we have Lucy Larita, who is our fashion correspondent. And she's fantastic. Now, Lucy is getting ready for her reality TV debut, but in physical, it's like it's to do with charities. And what it is she has to get physically fit and ready because it's one of those kind of like physical ones. She's going to be away for 6 days. We don't know when, we don't know where. What advice could you give Lucy in preparing for her reality TV show debut. Seriously now, because it's all in the mind. It's all about attitude.
What network is it with?
The network, I think, is All World. It's like a serious charity, global charity. Lucy might be able to put that up for us in a minute. But what's your advice?
Well, see, my advice is don't do reality TV shows. That's my advice. But anyway, if this is a charity one, it's great that it's for charity, and I hope you raise a lot of money. Just be prepared that everything you do, every conversation that you have, every interaction you have with anybody will be filmed. You go to the toilet, turn your mic off.
That's actually so true. And the thing is, but that's life, isn't it? So just because you can't hide behind anything now, the amount of surveillance cameras, have you noticed, like when the crime takes place and then the police crack on and then they say, oh, by the way, we have from where they left their supermarket all the way through to where they murdered the person. It's all on film.
Big Brother's watching.
Big Brother's watching. Actually, it's called, and we give you a shout out because Lucy's going to be, she's working on a secret project. So I can't tell you what the secret project is.
Okay, it's very top secret. Okay.
Top secret, very celebrity. But here we go. It's Adventures All Stars Charity TV Global.
Charity.
So it's good that it's good that it's, and Lucy's very much about giving back to the community. So that's what it's about. So you just say, be yourself.
She's going to have to get really fit, right? Yeah, be yourself and just be mentally prepared. And don't let them get into your head. Do not let them get into your head. Just keep yourself. But don't let them, because the whole thing about reality shows, no matter what they are, the more drama, the more exciting it is, okay? Because that's what makes people watch.
Well, Lucy says that she's actually scared. She's very scared.
I see that. I'm very scared.
That's good. That makes good TV, though, being scared.
Yeah, but Lucy, don't be scared. Just be wary. Just be weary of what's going on around. Be weary.
Be weary, Lucy. I think the interesting thing is actually, because, look, I've been in reality TV, you know that. The thing is that they couldn't stereotype me. So what they used to do, I have to share with everybody, there's this thing they put it in your ear, and it's called I can't read an IBU or something. And I called it the IBF, right? I called it the IBF. And I'm like, listen, guys. And what they do is they sometimes try and put words in your head. I'm like, guys, I'm going to cost Foxtel a hell of a lot of money. And so the producers would gather around. Why? I said, listen, I've got enough voices in my head. I don't need any more voices. So, Lucy, be careful. Don't let them manipulate you.
Yes.
Because that's what it's all about.
They do that.
I'm going to invite you back to the green room as I give everybody a quick update. We have the gorgeous Deni Hines. You can connect with her on denihines.com. As you can see, the energy, the excitement is palpable here today. And we really have a beautiful network. It's like a sisterhood with a few brothers. And we're coming all around the world from London, Melbourne, South Africa, I can see. It's really fantastic to have you all on board. It's absolutely brilliant. And Lucy's actually thanking Deni for her advice. I'm just going to do a little bit of a slice. And when we come back, we're going to talk more, Deni Hines. Please make sure your questions are ready, because goodness knows this woman understands life and the universe. Please stand by for more after the break. Oh, yes, here we are. How do you keep buoyant? And I don't want to bring up the P word or the C word, but we're going to. Pandemic and COVID.
Wow. The P or C.
How do you keep, because look, you're so vibrant, you're so invigorated. What are some of your secrets that you can share with us with regard to
Well, my biggest secret is, the biggest secret I've got is every day I wake up, I'm fucking happy. Okay? That's how I start the day.
How do you do that?
Because it means I didn't die in my sleep. It
Yeah.
means that I still have work to do. It means that my time is not done yet. So every day that I wake up, and I wake up and I say, thank you. Yes, I'm 50. 50 years I've been waking up. 50 years I've been going to sleep. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the start. That's how I start my day. But then the pandemic, don't let it get into your head. What I've been telling to people is don't fight it. Everybody's fucking fighting. Everybody's fighting it. And you fight it, you're distressing yourself. Just go with it. Just go with it. Because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. And there's no point fighting it because you're just going to get arrested or stressed. So just go with it. Learn a craft. Learn a language. Speak to a friend that you haven't spoken to for ages. Fix a relationship that went down the shit because you didn't put the time in or whatever. Sort the relationship out that you're in that you don't like, that hasn't been right for 10 years. But like, do stuff and don't get caught in your own head. Like, just, I know that there's mental health, and I mean, some people would question that. I don't think I have mental health problems, but yeah, just really call for people, see how they are, connect with people, spend time. Like, there's families that haven't been able to spend time. I mean, they have now since this thing's come around, but prior to that, people's lives were so busy. You know, kids were going to sleep with one parent, waking up with the other parent, even though there might have been two. But now everybody's around. And for me, COVID has been a time for me to become incredibly creative, to write, to concentrate on the music that I want to do, to reach out to all my friends who are all sitting at home in their studios wanting to do stuff. Send me some music. Let's do some collaborations. I've had 2 releases come out in this pandemic. I have not left Bangkok, but I'm okay. So
it's be prolific. I love that advice, which is don't buy into it, which is the advice that you just gave Lucy, which is basically just keep your own head. My father's like you. My father gets up in the morning and it will be pouring with rain outside, Deni, and he's got his PJs on and like and he gets his cap, his golf cap on. I'm like, Mr. Weinreich. He goes, it's absolutely fantastic out there. I'm like, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But you know what? Exactly. Because your parents know what it's like. You know what I'm talking about, Henry, but your parents know the fact that they are that age and still wake up. And yes, it's raining. It's a beautiful day to your father. That's rain from the skies, from the clouds. That's the beautiful thing.
And I'll tell you what, so there's that. And then he's just added to his toolkit. And what my father says to me is that, listen. I go, yes, Reggie, I'm listening. He's very emphatic, my father. Imagine 30 months working with him. Most gorgeous human being. And my mother's in there going, okay, the boys are on one. The boys are on one. And he says to me, I have a new thing as well on top of it. I go, what is it? He goes, I make sure I make a joke in the morning and in the evening, to light things up, to make sure we go start. I said, how does that go down with Mum? Not always that good.
Not always that good. And don't go to sleep angry either. Try not to go to sleep angry. Yeah.
We were talking about creativity and we were talking about being prolific. And I'm going to bring on something just to remind everybody as we're coming to the hour. It is about to strike midnight in London. We're straddling from Saturday.
Time to go to bed, bitches.
Sunday night to Sunday morning. We've got New York doing 7 p.m. We've got Melbourne doing 9 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. And we have Bangkok doing 6 a.m. in the morning. And it's all happening. I want everybody to just take the joy out of some of the singing. I need to put up here on the banners before I start. Or actually, I'll start that before. This is for educational purposes only.
Only.
We are not infringing copyright. It is fair act and fair use. This is Deni Hines singing from TikTok, and it is special. And I've got to put this on. So I'm going to invite Deni to enjoy the performance with everybody. So we're putting her back in the green room.
I'm wearing the same T-shirt.
What's it say?
Melanin, noun. Where is it? Melanin.
That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
Why black don't crack?
I love it. I love it. Yesterday was coming exactly to the hour when you said last week, those people that did not manage to look at the YouTube channel of Henry and Friends Live, part 1 last week. You must. But what cracked everybody up last weekend was when you said, you know, they were interviewing me and they wanted me to put blue contacts in. And I said, look, I'll tell you what I can do. I can be blacker. You are absolutely classic. I'm coming back, Melanin. Please stand by as Deni Hines is taking us to the moon and back. You know, who cares about Richard Branson? This is our own spaceship.
I do. I sent him a message and said, nice work, RB. Unbelievable
that he got past Musk. He was quiet.
I know.
That was so interesting, and it's a message for me that, you know what, when you're working on a project that sometimes you've got nothing to show for it, but you've been working for years on it, like my father and I, the time will come. And when that time comes, that's when you.
I know, RB. I know Richard. I call him RB. He is.
Have you met
him? An incredible. I've been to his island with his mum and dad.
Pardon. Is he amazing? Tell us. You know what? Let me tell you something. Please stand by, everybody. We're going to have a scoop of what actually Richard Branson is like behind the scenes. But first and foremost, we're putting on a bit of our Deni. Please stand by for further updates as they come to hand. If you're not enjoying this interview, you couldn't be alive. You couldn't be. The amount of invigoration all week, I have been waiting with all of you to come on and to really enjoy Deni and some of the performance. So just a reminder, this is literally for education purposes only, a little sneak peek of the genius, of the performance, of the absolute shiver through your soul. This is Henry and Friends Live right around the globe. And yes, we're jived up with a little bit of a performance from Deni Hines herself. We are not infringing any kind of copyright, and it is for educational purposes only. Please stand by. Gorgeous, Deni.
Can I just tell you, that's somebody on TikTok, right, who I follow, who's a musician, who plays all this instrumental stuff, and he goes, duet? Do you want a duet? And I just love to sing. So I usually sing it down in the toilet at the condo at the pool, and then the cleaners are like, they can hear me singing in the toilet because it's good acoustics. But I was just finishing this. I'm in my bonnet. I'm ready to go to bed. But yeah, I just heard it, and I was like, I did it about 4 times, and I was like, oh God, look, this is look. Sorry, Aretha, but I'm just going to have a go.
My mother and father were came over to the computer, and we were standing there as everybody in our audience is right now, and we're mesmerized. What are you thinking when you're singing? What goes through your mind?
So funny. My mind is blank. It's probably the only time that my mind is blank because there's always shit going on in here. But
yeah.
It's almost like a meditative kind of vibe when I'm singing, because I do sing with my eyes closed. I shut off all sensory kind of vision, and it's all internal. But I cannot. It's so funny, Henry, because there's nothing going on. It's quiet. It's a quiet space in there. Because when I'm singing, it's weird. Because if I was to think about something, I'd forget the lyrics.
That's so interesting. How do you get, by the way, I have noticed the amount of performance you're doing on TikTok, the amount of performances you've done, the amount of songs. By the way, how many songs do you think you've published in your life so far? I've counted about 150, 200 more.
On TikTok?
No, you, Deni Hines.
Oh, I don't know.
Hundreds.
I don't know, but I have a theory. I have a
What's
theory
the
that
theory?
when I die, because we're all going to
Yeah.
die. I hate to bring you that news. We're not all here forever. We will die. When I die and they do the autopsy and they cut my head open, all these lyrics are going to come flying out. All these words and songs and shit are just going to come flying out of my head. I just know it.
Oh my God. We actually have Brisbane in the house, Mr. Clinton Hoffman himself and Martina, who are such
There's Vegas.
extraordinary in the Indigenous space in Australia. You have no idea what they're going on. Clinton was actually one of our very, very first interviews. And by the way, he had this huge birthday party the night before, and he comes on. I don't think he had 2 hours sleep, and he had to get himself all vibed up. He got all zhushed up, and he goes, "Mr. Weinreich, do you know, the minute I leave this interview, I'm going straight back to sleep." We're going to have Martina on. You have to catch this interview, talking about the Indigenous space. She's an activist. She's extraordinary. She's really, really amazing. People are saying such an extraordinary voice from London, Rubina Latif, who's actually our London beauty correspondent. And I think the interesting thing that Rubina's been talking about is, and all of us, I think at a certain age, you look at your career, you look at your life, our question to you is, and I'm getting questions here on our switchboard, is what is your secret? You've been doing singing since somebody discovered you in the kitchen when you were singing. So how old were you? You were like a young lady.
Passed, his name.
Right.
I was like 15, 16.
15, 16. You've had a good 3 decades or more of incredible.
I have no concept of time. Time is a mind constraint. I have no concept of time.
But you've been continuing your career all the way through without any apologies, doing it your way, doing it girlfriend. What is your secret? What is your secret? Because I'm about to publish my book. It's been a long haul. Rubina has continued with her career in beauty. Lucy in fashion. I mean, Clinton has been hammering away with Martina on his incredible thing. Back actually, for those people that need it in the future, women are actually the conduit. It's called the IF app, and the IF app is actually a downloadable for men's mental health. All the people that we network with have been doing it. It's not all glamour, as you know. What's your secret for longevity?
I was put on this planet to sing. I just know it. I was writing this song that I told you about the other day, and I wrote in the lyrics, is like, what did I say? I wrote my lyrics down. What did I say? So there's something about, you can't take me, the words you say to me will not change the history that I'm meant to have, or some shit. I can't remember. Yeah, but I was just like, no, you're not going to change who I am as a person. I am a vocalist. This is what I do. If you don't like it, be gone. But I've just always done what I wanted to do musically and written the stuff that I've wanted to write and sort of work with the people that I've wanted to be with. I've got to say that the older I've gotten more secure within myself as an artist, and felt that I can stand by my actions with more conviction as an older
without
person.
being told what or not what to do, right? So this is interesting because
I like to say that I'm my own bitch, right? I'm nobody's bitch but my own. My husband is my manager, so basically everything is discussed between the two of us. I'm my own bitch.
Oh my God, I've been waiting for this all week and I have not been disappointed. None of us have been disappointed. It's official. This is Henry and Friends Live. We are 10 past the hour, wherever you might be, except if you're in Mumbai and Adelaide, and I can't work out what the time is there, to be very honest with you. We're having questions coming in thick and fast. Thank you so much. This is a very interesting one from Balina, and she says, there has been some debate that musicians/artists need to look a certain way. What are your views on this, and have you experienced anything like this in your career? Please stand by. We're hearing for the answer.
Yeah, but I've got to laugh. I've got to laugh because I hear what she's saying, but see, the difference between that and me is that I've got the melanin, and so like before the Beyoncés were around, they didn't really know what to do with us. They didn't quite know how to dress us and what to make us look like.
That's true. That's true.
But then, with the melanin deficient people, like you and my husband. Yeah, well, they just do cookie cutting, don't they? They make the same of the same of the same, and just put it out in different markets. And it could be cookie cutter. Put it out. Sell it. Because you know what I realize is, you live overseas and you hear the same shit. And, what Taylor Swift is in Thailand? They don't even speak English. It's not their main language. Why am I hearing Thailand?
We have. It's interesting. By the way, talking about Thailand for a moment, and it's a completely different topic. Very, very quickly, I saw you get your vaccination, and I tell you what fascinated me: not the vaccination, as much as there you are with your mask, sitting there in your chair, you're taking a picture, but the whole thing's in a different language.
Yeah, I know, it's in Thai. I don't read it either.
The whole thing is in a completely Thai language. How are you knowing what's going on? Seriously. And are they speaking to you in Thai when they're calling you? Did you get the right injection? Were you in the right room? How do you know?
No, because this was, I think so. I'm waiting for my extra nipple. Yeah, because it was done through our visa. So it was all expats that were there. And so they were actually, because I'm only good for, in my Thai's only good up numbers. I'm good up to about 15, and then I just lose it.
Yeah.
Numbers like that. So, but they were yelling out, and I was number 83. They were yelling it out in English. 83.
Thank God. But you said last weekend, which was so interesting, if you want to communicate, you can communicate. It doesn't matter about language. And you said, because you want to communicate. And that doesn't matter at all.
This was very organized. It wasn't. You weren't there to be friendly and make friends. This is here to get your vaccines.
I understand.
It's very ordered and sit down and wait. Yeah.
Can you sit down still?
But I had it.
Can you sit down still for a minute? Tell me the truth, because I know I can't. Can you?
Can I? No, I cannot. No, I'm hyperactive.
Talking about hyperactive.
I've never been diagnosed, but I know that I'm not, what 50-year-old has my penis?
Every single person in the world, so it's interesting because years ago here in Australia, I went to a psychologist and they said, we think you're whatever they tried to label me with. I said, well, if you're going to label me like that, how are you going to label every single person that lives in Manhattan? No, I am not. No. I think that whole AHD, BCE, it's all about people not liking individual spirit. And you and I just, and everyone,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't fit into your category. I'm really afraid.
We're like these firecrackers that come into people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about firecrackers, we're about 2 minutes before the show. And then, by the way, I'm going to invite you to the after show where it's still live, of course, but you're going to tell me how you felt the interview went and your secret thoughts and what you're going to be doing for the rest of the weekend. As Lucy has got smiley faces from Melbourne. She's absolutely laughing. People are loving this. I'm going to put you up again because that's the kind of person I am.
I can have breakfast in an hour, guys. I can have breakfast in an hour.
What do you eat for breakfast, by the way?
Well, Sundays is breakfast with the husband, so we do breakfast together. Oh. Did I get an all for that? Did I get an all?
You played unfair with your husband. What do you eat?
So we usually go for breakfast, but because of COVID, we can't go out for restaurants. So the restaurant brings it to us, and so Daniel will have a steak with chopped up with rice and scrambled eggs and ikura. I will have a potato rusty with salmon ikura, a dollop of sour cream, a dragon fruit smoothie, a latte, and a scone. He will have a coconut coffee.
Talking about Daniel, your husband, you played unfair. It must have been half a year ago. So I think it was just before Christmas, and we were all losing our marbles. And you go, Henry, you haven't seen Daniel recently, have you? And I'm like, no. Should I be? And then you took the camera and you pointed to Daniel, and this hunk. Muscles everywhere.
You lost your shit, Henry.
Intelligent guy, and you're like, and you'll say hello, and he goes, "Hi, Henry, how you doing?" And I'm like,
Henry became like this 12-year-old boy. Hi.
I don't know if I got any work. Guys, maybe one day Daniel will come on, but he's like the Bosley. He doesn't come on. He's amazing. Lucy's saying that she's loved watching us both. Kim is sending us love and kisses.
Hi, Kimmy.
Balina says she needs a husband. Don't we all?
Oh, no, you don't, baby. Listen. Balina, let me tell you something. It's better to be single and wish you were in a relationship than to be in a relationship and wish you were single, girl.
Girlfriend, that's a good one. That is such a beauty. Talking about relationships, everyone's fallen in love with you over the years. And here's one of the reasons why. Let me just throw on a little bit of ticky-tocky and see why everybody's going ballistic. A little bit of ticky-tocky. Here we go.
You want me to sing? All right, then.
You are just for educational purposes, obviously. And
I have recorded that, but you know what? You didn't get to play that, but so I'm just going to say it again because if you watch a TikTok, you know that. But my mother went to school with Donna Summer. That is a Donna Summer song. I have covered that song. I did it with a DJ in Australia called DJ Alex, and it was released about 5 years ago.
Unbelievable.
But my mama and Donna Gaines went to school together.
Absolutely amazing. Really, that's incredible. I would like to thank you incredibly. We're going to, for those people who want to stay behind for the after show, which will be going on as we go into 17 minutes past the hour. I'm just going to play one more banner.
Can I just tell you, Henry, hold on. I just want to tell the people what the temperature is in Bangkok at
tell us.
27 in the morning. Or 6,
tell us, please. Please tell us.
It's approximately 26 degrees, bitches. 26 degrees, bitches. 26 degrees, bitches.
I sometimes sleep.
18 in the morning. That's why I'm sweating. I said to put the air on.
There has been such an effing cold winter this year in Sydney.
I know.
I don't know what it is. It's become Melbourne, and Melbourne's become the South Pole. It's absolutely crazy. Before we leave, I'm going to put you on the screen yourself. Don't forget to connect with Deni Hines. DeniHines.com. TikTok, Deni Hines.
I'm funny. Really funny.
You are funny, but you're incredibly talented too. You brought tears to our eyes here in the household. I suppose my parents are like, well, if we can't cry that we're stuck with Henry, you might as well cry at the amazing creativity of Deni Hines. Instagram is at Deni Hines and YouTube, Deni Hines. And don't forget, we love when you follow us. Subscribe to YouTube. All the links, all the things about Deni, this show, any comments you want to make, we absolutely love it. And I'm going to finish off with one last comment. Kim, how have I not seen that one on TikTok? Know what I'll be doing after the live. Go onto Deni's TikTok, and actually my advice for anybody, if you're feeling it, you're not feeling whatever you feel, or you're not feeling, or you're feeling whatever it is, go on to Deni's YouTube and go back and listen to her tunes through the week. Do it all download, buy it on your iPhone, iTunes, and I tell you, or Spotify. And let me tell you something. You are going to have the best concert next week, and for weeks to come. She's an extraordinary woman indeed. Say goodbye to, what's the last thing? I know. What's the thing that you would like to leave us with? Just your last piece of advice, Deni, as you rearrange your glasses.
My last piece of advice is, people, my fellow humans, who I refer to you all as my fellow humans, We will see an end to this craziness.
Yeah.
It will happen. But was it Liz Smiley who said it will happen, but it won't happen overnight?
It won't happen, but it won't happen overnight.
It will happen overnight.
My personal last comment. Go on.
We will do it. We'll get out. We will see an end to this craziness. I don't know when, but everything must change. Nothing stays the same.
I agree with you. And that's what my parents say. And actually, my final word of the day is a big thank you to my parents because they are housing me in their home. And they look at me and they're like, oh my God.
Move back in.
Well, I have to. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not allowed to be more than 10 kilometers. You can't do. But the thing is, they look at me going, well, they don't even look at the news because when they look at me, they go, oh, this thing is not over. Obviously, you can't get out of here. And they go, oh, he's still here. The restrictions are still. Anyway, I am going to invite everybody to stay behind if you want to the after show. Thank you so much. You are absolutely a joy and a pleasure. A big applause to Miss Deni Hines. You're amazing. We love you. Thanks so much. We'll stay behind just a few seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible show. I cannot imagine it did not lift your spirits, bring you to the ceiling, take you to skyrockets to the moon with Richard Branson. Oh, that'll be for the next time because Deni is releasing with Ricky FSP in Japan an incredible single. And I'll be speaking about that next week. Next week, coming up for our schedule, we have Ms. Rubina Latif, and she's going to be talking about beauty tips and trends, the hits and misses. And the week after, an extraordinary young lady from New York City, a futurist who is absolutely incredible. And she will be talking about not the glass ceiling, as such, Rebecca Bond, but she'll be talking about the blue skies and the opportunities for women. And then the week after that, my sister, Lillian H. Weinreich, architecture based in New York City, talking about women and architecture. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. We're going to finish off with this little slice, and then we are going to be back talking with Deni on the after show. Have a fantastic weekend. See you next week. This is Henry Samuel Weinreich signing off saying, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Would you dance in there? Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in.
Whew. How did you go?
I loved it. It was fun.
You're fantastic. You really do lighten up the screen. Your talent's extraordinary. And I really have to compliment you. I know you're not big on compliments, but it is true that, you know, whenever I research into our guests, even though I might know them through my life, blown away by the prolificness of your career. I know you.
Really? I don't see it's so funny, Henry. I live it, and I don't think it's that prolific. It's really interesting. Seeing my career from other people's eyes, I'm in it. But I don't see it. I'm just in it. I'm just doing it. So I don't see it. I don't see
well, you wouldn't though, because otherwise you'd be drinking the Kool-Aid.
Like, I never make songs and think people hear it.
Well, because you would be drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you'd be drinking the Kool-Aid, wouldn't I?
but you would be. But honestly, you've got no idea how many, like, your downloads. I've been downloading your music, and I know this sounds weird. We know each other. We've done your wedding gown. We ran down Times Square because we were late for a fitting appointment with you. Your mother was with us, which was amazing. But I have to tell you, I know this is weird. I'm not saying I'm blessed. I'm not saying you're a celebrity. I'm not saying you're a guru, but you
are you blessed?
I think I'm really lucky. I think I'm a really lucky man. I'm living at my parents' home. I think about all the different people that whatever else is happening there. And my parents are still speaking to me. You know, my sister's in New York. We're a good family. And
your sister, she's doing architecture now. She's not doing wedding dresses anymore.
No. So Michelle, remember there's Michelle who's doing, who
Oh,
does the now.
oh,
Lillian,
you've
remember
got two
Lillian?
sisters.
Yeah,
Lillian,
Lillian.
Oh,
Is the
yeah,
architect.
Lillian.
Yes.
Yes, Lillian.
My
Okay,
mother was
sorry.
like, not Lillian. She gave her, and what did she?
Lillian.
Lillian. That was it. Your mother met my sisters like Lillian. But no, I have to tell you, as we leave this interview, thank you for your graciousness. We could not do a one interview with you. You are truly such a great person for people to have
Thank you,
connected
Henry.
with.
I love you as a person too, Henry. So just don't
Thank you.
even. Yeah, I love you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my
You're
God.
you hanging out with you. Like when we get to hang out, it's kind of like you make me feel tired.
Wow, I'm really pleased with that. I'll be telling you the figures for this week. Give Daniel my love. Keep doing
He
it.
won't be awake yet. Thank you, Dave, baby. Thank you.
And darling, I can't wait. If you have the opportunity with you, I would love to interview you with the guys from Japan, because that next single is.
Oh, that would be a craze. Yeah, listen,
I'd love that.
Ricky. Yeah, that's why you asked about the English. Ricky,
Yeah.
you probably
right.
speak too fast for Ricky, but yeah.
No, I'll slow down.
Yeah, because that's not coming out until
October sometime.
September, October.
Yeah. Look, it's
So
fantastic.
maybe that could be our next chat. They can talk to Japan or something. But yeah.
I'm going to see where my parents are. My love to you. Give Daniel my love. You are most gracious, and you're bloody funny, and you're really honest. Love you. Take care. We'll be in touch.
Love you. Bye, Henry.
Bye,
Yes,
darling.
Henry. Bye,
Take
baby.
care. Bye.
Bye, darling. Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.